All right, so as you can see, guys, like I've been working on this all day because I didn't want to be like that. And I know some people get annoyed when you make too many updates to your show, apparently. But of course, you know who it is. It's me, Quita, aka Malaysian Quita. And welcome back to the final part, no pun intended, of me taking my hair down here. And let me turn the light on because it looks a little bit dark here. Yes, that is more. Give me that glow. There we go. Looks so much better with the light, right? Because it's coming into the kind of mid afternoon here, going to the evening time. So I gotta turn my light on so you guys can like see this fat face. Okay. So so yeah, let's just finish this off, take it down, and then I actually lost a lot of my hair. Let me show you all the dead hair that I have. Like it's ridiculous. Let me show you. This is all of the knots and the dead hair that I had going on. Like look at that. It's like half of my freaking head. But it'll grow back. I left the twist in for too long, and then it started to kind of knot up and look like kind of like dreadlocks, which is fine. But it's like, no, I gotta find myself a regular stylist and all that good stuff. So, yeah, so this is all I've been doing, guys. Like, I was sitting down watching some. I watched a really good show. It was about, while I was taking my hair down, it was all about Victorian medicine and the innovations of Victorian medicine. So I was like, ooh, this is really good. So it's like a 4-part like documentary. So I was watching that. And then I went, got some food. I ate a little bit, you know. And I gotta wait for my food to go down so I can work out today. And then I'm probably gonna have my hair in like an afro puff kind of style, because today my mom was supposed to, because my mom does my hair, but like my mom's been like gone all day, so I'm just sitting here and I'm like, yeah, my hair is not getting done today, so I'm just gonna wear it in an afro puff thing, and then hopefully the next day we can start working on it. But then I think I'm probably not gonna work on it until like next week Tuesday, because literally my schedule sucks, guys. Like I gotta work like ridiculous hours this weekend. So like yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. So yeah, let's finish this up. So what I've been doing is I've been using, because I ran out of this Opiro. I'm gonna get some more of this because it softens my hair right away. This is the Opiro Organic Protein Leave-In Conditioner Detangler Spray. And then what I've been doing is, since this spray bottle, I'm going to keep it because it sprays really well. This spray bottle kind of sucks. It really gets all over me. It's like wet, wet. This is the Mane and Tail Detangler. So I've just been pouring this into this. And so let's keep working on this. I'm working on the back. So as you can see, I like to soak it up. And then I use kind of finger work it into the knot. But my hair has been kind of, and then I do sit back a little bit. So yeah, my hair has been knotted up. And I just detangle it. See, you can tell like my hair has been knotted up. I waited too long. And then I got this piece right here. But I really do like the color that I picked for my hair because it really matches and looks good with my skin tone. Yeah, but this weekend, I'm going to order some stuff from Amazon like I always do. And as I like hit my mic here, I think I'm going to get my mic. I'm getting what's called a shock mount because I keep hitting my mic. Like I have my microphone here on my desk, but it's like I keep hitting it, which is really, I'm sure, annoying for you guys. So what I want to do is I want to take my mic stand and put it above my monitor, so it's kind of like the mic is kind of looking down this way, so that way it's a little more hands free, and then you guys, if I bump the table or something like that, you guys don't have to hear that. But man, everything is so expensive, man. Like my mic stand is expensive. These coloring books, let me tell you, coloring books, the prices are just getting so ridiculous now. I mean, I don't mind paying like, excuse me, like $8 or $9, but now the books are like $20, $30, and it's just like, especially if you like books from like places like Asia and stuff like that. Let me get this to focus. There we go. That's the only problem. I shoot with the Logitech C920, and don't get me wrong, this is a really nice camera. The quality is really decent, but my problem with it, it always focuses in and out. Like it has focusing problems. So maybe in the near, and that's near future, I will upgrade my camera and get like the 930 models. It's supposed to be better. So hopefully I can do that. But let me move my mic a little bit closer since I'm kind of leaning back here. Okay, there we go. So, but yeah, it's just been really a hectic. It's just been a hectic week for me, man. It's like I've just been really tired. I was like, I don't really have time to take down my hair. I don't even have time to sleep. I'm like, this is crazy. So I'm just getting myself prepared for the fall because that's when I decided to do my job shadowing. Because with the schedule that my work has given me, it's not allowing me to be able to, to give me the time to do my education. I mean, my hours are all over the place. So I'm going to have to wait till fall because during the fall, it's a lot slower. So then I'll be able to, like, get what I need, It's so frustrating. It's really frustrating. I'm like, can't believe I'm almost done. And then taking my hair down, guys, let me tell you, it has taken me all day. And sometimes because I have a very tender scalp, taking down my hair, you can see the knot there, is very painful for me. It sucks, but sometimes you gotta bear with the pain. So, okay, so I got and sometimes I always miss one, and I hate that when I'm doing my hair, and then my mom sees the knot and she takes it out, and I'm like, ow, that hurts, but it's like, she's just like, well, I gotta do it, and I'm like, you could be a little more gentle. So that's why I go through the process of detangling it myself. But my hair, I have that type 4 hair where it's just really thick and it's just so knotty. My hair gets really knotted up. This is the reason why I was like, maybe I should do dreadlocks, just because my hair is the perfect type for it. It would lock up really fast, but I just don't have the time to do the maintenance of the dreadlocks. I think once I finish school, maybe that'll be the gift to myself, is to do dreadlocks on my hair and then just have it grow out like that. But then I found out that dreads are a lot of maintenance, and it's just like, ugh. Just kind of working it through. Yeah, but my hair gets really knotted up. It's terrible. And then I end up like losing a lot of hair because of that. I was at one point though, see, if I was not such a big person, I would shave my head. But I'm a big person, then I go shave my head, I would look crazy. so so I won't do it. Like there was one time I wanted to just shave, like completely, like just shave it off and not be dealing with hair. But I do not have that sexy bald head. I would look like Uncle Fester in like Addams Family. I'd be like, so so I was just like, you know what? I am not doing that to myself. Okay, so let's continue taking this out. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I got some I have some more makeup stuff. I'm finished. If I can talk today. See, I'm so tired that it's like I can't speak English. It's ridiculous. Um, so I got some stuff I gotta do in regards to my makeup. I have a couple more things that I want. And we have Disco. Hey, what's up? And of course, Disco's got to go for the jugular and say that, Uncle Fester here. What's going on? No, I'm kidding. Welcome to the show, man. But it's just, it's crazy. Like, but okay, so for my makeup collection, I'm gonna be doing a couple things. I'm gonna get the Nabi, the Nabi lip liners. I've heard are really good because you can never have enough lip liners. Then I'm gonna finish up my collection of the Nabi liquid lipsticks because they are amazing. Then I'm going to get two more eyeshadow palettes from Kara Cosmetics, and yeah, that'll be it. Because I have pretty much everything else that I want. And then also it's like I just don't have the room for it. I really wish I had better organization, but my room is so small, so it's like I can only do so much with it. Just like with my video game collection, I'm thinking about moving that into my closet and then getting rid of this entertainment center so I can like actually have like light in my room. And then after that, get an art desk. That's really, 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 really what I want is an art desk. But it's like I just can't afford it. See, this is the thing that sucks. Is so many times it's like some of you guys are like, hey, we want you to get this, we want you to get that, but it's like I can't afford it. Like I can't. It sucks. So I just get what I can. Like I try my best, but it's like I just get what I can. Cause these art desks, man, they're like on the low end. They're about like maybe what like 180 to about like 300. It's crazy. So okay, let's see here. It's like I got. Just want to make sure I got all of them because sometimes, yep, I got like four more here. Okay, Disco. Okay, so this is what Disco says. Disco says, for more room, get rid of game boxes and use CD wallet. Okay, telling a gamer to get rid of the game boxes as a collector is like telling a biker to not have a helmet. You know what I mean? Like I'm a gaming collector in a way. So gaming boxes, and here's the thing for those people who are not, really into gaming, games tend to have more value when you have a complete set. That means you have the original box, you have the original instructions and everything like that. For example, I'll give an example of this, okay? So there is a game called Time Crisis. And Time Crisis is what's called a light gun game. There's this thing called the Gun Con, and it was made for CRTVs. And if you have the original box and everything, I'm seeing these things go for like $150, $250. And I was like, maybe if I kept my box or if I got one with a box, it'll just be worth more. You know what I mean? Because like for me, one of my goals is like I would like to have my own place, so I would sell my collectibles to be able to do that. But most of the stuff I have is just the case, and no one really gives a crap about that. Most game collectors want the complete package. But see, the problem is, especially with this next generation of gaming, this eighth generation of gaming, is that most of the cases don't really exist anymore. Most of the games, unless you get like, I don't know, a $200, $300 collector's set, they just don't come like that anymore. I mean, games don't even come with instructions. They don't even have an instruction manual. Serious. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, we have Bella. Hey, what's up, Bella? Welcome to the show. And then Bella says, I wouldn't throw away my game boxes. I feel like something's missing. And then Disco says, cure yourself of that bad habit. I'm not sure what you mean by bad habit, but I digress. So, uh, and of course, Bella is gaming. It's awesome. And then Bella says, I learned my lesson as a child, throwing away my Sega boxes and keeping the game. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You guys know I am a huge fan of Sega. Like, Sega is the shit, okay? I really wish that they would have continued making systems, but, you know, because of the console war, and we all know who won, you know, Nintendo, unfortunately. I'm not really a Nintendo fan. I mean, to be honest, I only like Nintendo up to Super Nintendo because I love that classic, like the classic arcade style game, especially RPG wise, games like Chrono Trigger and stuff like that. But after that, I don't give a crap about Nintendo products. I don't care about the Switch. I think the Switch is a waste of money. I am not gonna pay what, like $250 or more to get a handheld console. I mean, Nintendo should know at this point that people want consoles, not necessarily handheld. So that's why, to me, I think the best system, personally, in my opinion, that Nintendo has come out with, I'll backtrack a little bit here, backpedal a little bit. I forgot the Wii. The Wii was the most perfect system that Nintendo has come out with because it had some games, like some more mature games, a couple mature titles, but it was a very versatile system. But the Switch, it's like this big. It's not like a PSP. You know, it's not like the Nintendo DS or 3DS. It's this flipping huge, and you have the little remote, the remotes with it. I'm just like, this is what I'm gonna pay 250. No, so I will never buy a Nintendo Switch. I understand people love Nintendo, but I will forever be loyal to Sega and Sony. I love Sony. You guys know that. I got PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1. I mainly collect JRPGs and I like to collect what I like to call metal games. So games like Dante's Inferno, Devil May Cry, that kind of stuff. And like story witch games, like really lengthy stories. So like stuff like Final Fantasy, The Witcher, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to get a Switch. I think it's a waste of money, in my personal opinion. So, Bella says, I don't care. I still play my OS Sega. Hey, girl, you do you, as they would say. And then Disco says, everyone nowadays has a collector mindset. Very hard to see what's worth holding on to when everybody's collecting everything, which is true. But I feel that if you're a collector, you gotta be strategic with your collecting. Unless you live in some mansion, you have miles upon miles of room to have, like, you know, those collectors that have like every freaking system, but they can afford it, you know. Most collectors, in my opinion, are selective collectors. So they are particular systems or a particular genre of gaming that they're interested in. You know, there's some people who like, they collect beat 'em up games. There are some people who like to collect the brawlers, the fighting type games, like Street Fighter, for example. There are some people like myself who are the RPG kind of collectors, you know, so those are the people who like the Final Fantasies, that kind of stuff. Cron Lancer, you know, those type of games that have more of like an anime focus to them. And then there's some people who they collect a little bit of everything, and those people have the money to do that. And especially RPGs are very, very expensive. I mean, these games are not cheap. And then these freaking 8th gen, I gotta say this honestly, both Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft as well, your prices are asinine. There is no way in hell that I'm gonna sit down and pay $120 for 2 games. That is absolutely ridiculous. So if I have to wait a year, I don't give a crap about like keeping up with trends and all that. I'll leave that to the young people to do, but us older gamers here, okay? I'm sorry, but I will wait a year if I, like, for example, Persona 5, I waited a little bit before getting it because I just couldn't make my mind be like, okay, let me buy this game for $60. That's ridiculous. $120 for 2 games? Nah, that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, no, ma'am. I am not paying those ridiculous asinine prices. Okay, so, Bella says, I'm not sure I'll get an Xbox because I prefer PS4. Now, this is my mindset. Like I always tell people as a disclaimer, you have a brain, you know how to use it. You have to make the choices of what works for you and what doesn't. But this is just my opinion personally. I personally feel that Xbox is a waste of time. If you are someone who is an RPG gamer, if you're more heavily involved in the multiplayer scene, then I would say definitely Xbox is going to be the way most people are going to go. I'm not saying that PS4 doesn't have multiplayer, because they do on certain games, but I just think it's crazy to have to get a PlayStation Plus freaking membership in order for me to play multiplayer Destiny. I'm sorry. I think that's asinine and stupid. To me personally, if I'm already coughing up the money to spend, probably mid $200s to $300 on the console itself, and don't forget, you have to get the peripherals, you have to get the accessories, because one controller, I learned my lesson. I got my system with one controller. The controller went bad. I didn't have another controller. I was screwed. So I have to buy 2 more controllers, and wait a minute, those controllers are freaking like $60 too a piece. And then because I have a older, or they call it the first model PS4 or Model 1 PS4, these things get like freaking hot. So I had to buy a coolant system for it, a cooling fan for it. Okay, and that was at the cheap end. I got my cooling fan for like $20. Okay, so I already am over like $400 right there. And oh, wait a minute, I have to get the flipping games. Okay, and the games are like some of the newer ones are like $60 a piece. Okay, but luckily there's places like Amazon. I know some people are not gonna like me saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There's GameStop where you can find used games. You have to use your intelligence when you go to GameStop. Look at the games and make sure they're at the quality that you want them to be. I hear people complain about GameStop all the time, which I understand. But for some gamers like myself, sometimes GameStop is the only option that you can go and get games, because the local gaming stores are shutting down left and right. So you don't have a choice sometimes. You have to use your intelligence to look at the game and say, okay, well, this is not the quality that I want. And then you don't have to buy it, But, it's just so much money you spend on this stuff. And like, gaming is a hobby, just like adult coloring books, just like collecting records or stuff like that. It is a hobby. So it's a lot of money that you have to put into it. And don't even get me started on the freaking fighting gaming scene. The amount of money that these fighting, even if they're professional or not, the amount of money that they have to spend on getting arcade fighting sticks is freaking damn ridiculous. I mean, these gaming, just for the controller, it's not even the freaking game. Just for the controller, you're paying like $100, $120. It's ridiculous. Like, I understand if you're a professional gamer, you have the money for it. But when you're starting off as a professional gamer, or in my case, I'm not a professional gamer, I'm a commentator, I'm a Let's Player, I can't bring myself mentally to spend $120 on just an arcade fighting stick. I can't do it. As much as I love Street Fighter, as much as I love fighting games too, I can't bring myself to do it. I just can't. I can't. And then Bella says, Quita, do you like Dragon Quest? It's too cutesy for me. I know it's hypocritical because Final Fantasy has that same feel, but there's some maturity I like in Final Fantasy that I can't find in the Dragon Quest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have Dragon Quest 8, like the Cursed King or whatever, and I like the animation in that, the like the graphics and all that, but it was just too kiddish for me. That's why it's funny that I like Tales of Mysteria, but Tales of Mysteria is like one of the first like Tales of games to me, that's very, it has a very dark theme. It's a very serious theme, and there are serious themes throughout the Tales of series, but this is not lighthearted. Like, you play Velvet and this lady's like, I freaking hate people. Like, I want to kill Arthur and destroy him, and I will do everything, like any means necessary to make sure that happens because of what he did to Laphicet. And that, to me, is why I prefer the Tales of series now over Final Fantasy a little bit, is because of playing Mysteria and having that serious like storyline. It's crazy. It's like it's so crazy. But yeah, I just don't care for Dragon Quest. It's too kiddish for me personally. You know, it's funny though that I like Persona 5 because Persona 5 takes place with high schoolers, but it's a different feel because the themes within Persona 5 are like very serious. So, you know, I'm becoming more particular about the games that I play now just because it's expensive. And it's like I'm not going to waste my time, you know, spending $60 on a game that is a waste of time. It has a stupid storyline or there's no good development to it, you know? You can tell that they did not put any effort to make the game good, and then I just wasted $60 and my time personally playing a game that's dumb, you know? That's just me. That's just me. And then all right, so we got PC Master Race going on. No, I'm kidding. Because I have both. I have both PC and console, but I'll be 110% honest though. I'm becoming hashtag Team Console over PC now because of the cost. Now, don't get me wrong. You can spend just as much on PC stuff as on console stuff as PC stuff, but with PC, I swear, it's like every couple of months you gotta change your graphics card. But then you have to be strategic with being a PC owner because like console, if something goes, let's say the motherboard, pardon me, goes out in my PS4, I can always get another one and I don't care. But if my motherboard goes out on my PC, it's a whole different ball game. And then on top of that, if my graphics card goes, like that's what happened to me, was that when I bought this is a custom build that I have. I got it from a friend, and the graphics card that was in there at first was working well, and then it went bad. Then I got another graphics card. That one was a piece of crap. So then I had to buy another graphics card. The current graphics card I have in here is an NVIDIA 1050 Ti, which is a lower mid-range card. And you know why? Because I'm not sitting here playing any kind of games that require a Titan X, and we all know how expensive Titan X is, okay? Now, I could have gone with the AMD, but I don't know. I couldn't get one because everyone kept buying it. So I went with NVIDIA on that front. Even though, like, the AMD cards performed a little bit better, like some of the benchmarks were a little bit better, but you have to take those benchmarks sometimes with a grain of salt too, because it depends on the game that you're playing. And even some of the highest end games with the highest end graphics cards, you can still have problems with rendering and things like that too. So to me personally, I went with the TI 1050 because I'm playing games like Tree of Savior, Ragnarok Online, The Witcher 3, and I can play The Witcher 3 on, I think, like medium settings, and it's fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. But I prefer to play The Witcher 3 on my console anyway. So the only time I really use my PC is if I'm playing like Tree of Savior, if I'm playing any of my Steam games like Soul Worker and that kind of stuff. But after that, I don't really use it as much as I'm starting to use the console. And here's the plus with the console. You can stream to Twitch like that. And you can get your PS4 camera and you're ready to go. And if you don't even want to show your face, you have it already set up, ready to go. And there's some days where it's like, you know what? I don't feel like beating my face. I don't feel like I have to be perfect all the freaking time, you know? So I can just turn on my console and play my game. When I'm on PC, however, oh, I have to turn on OBS and make sure it's working right. Oh, my camera's not working. And there's a problem right now with the current, in my opinion too, the current version of OBS. It has this weird issue with the C920 webcam where, for me, I have to turn it on and then plug it in and then it starts to work. I have to completely delete my source and then add my source in again. Then I have to check, make sure my lighting, make sure my angles, make sure everything. It is just too much dang work sometimes. I don't mind doing it, guys, but I gotta keep it real. I love being lazy with my console. I can turn it on and I'm good to go. I love that, you know? It's just, sometimes PC can be a little bit extra work, but once you get it working, you're good to go. But if you are a beginner gamer, or if you're a new gamer or a casual gamer, it's like PC sometimes can be a learning curve. And for me to even learn how to use OBS and learn how to use it correctly, it took some time. It did. But I will say though, XSplit was a lot easier to use than OBS. Like OBS, once I figured it out, I was good to go. But I had to like watch a couple tutorials, you know, and things like that. But yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. And then Disco says, hi, I used to play Tree of Savior and started Soul Worker. Yeah, they're both really good games. You see, my problem is sometimes the gaming community hypes things up too much. And then that's when these really good games don't get the chance that they should get, because then everyone's like, oh, well, the game is not what I thought it was, and it sucked. Now, I have to be honest, with Tree of Savior, though, because of all the problems with their frame rates and all that crap, that's what affected Tree of Savior. But overall, Tree of Savior as a game is an excellent homage to Ragnarok Online. And the only reason why Ragnarok is having that same issue as well is because when you overhype something, and I'm not talking about the companies that make these games, it's the fans. Sometimes when the fans get so into these games and overhype them, and then when new gamers are coming in, you know, and it's supposed to be a community, right? So then you have these like clash of like the advanced gamers versus the new gamers, and then the, you know, the more advanced gamers or experienced gamers get frustrated at the new gamers because they don't know the same terminologies. But it's like, you were a new gamer, you know what I mean? So that's what causes a lot of these games to kind of lose traction. And then people want to complain about the death of the JRPG. Well, here's a wake-up call. Because we complain, well, some of us, you know, I don't want to generalize, but because a lot of us complain, this is why the JRPG genre is dying in America for a little bit. I mean, yeah, you know, we got Final Fantasy 15 and, you know, all of that. But it's not to the same level as it used to be with Final Fantasy 7. You know, those like really just legendary type of games. Like the PS1 and the PS2 era was really, to me, some of the most prominent times for the JRPG genre. But with the decline of, like, for example, the sales of Tales of Vesperia at the time when I was reading this one article, it was lower than normal. So that to me is not good, because if it's not doing well in Japan, it's going to take a lot of teeth and, you know, people are going to have to fight tooth and nail to bring it over here. and then we complain like, oh, we want the next Persona game, and then we bring it over, and then it's like people start nitpicking at little things, and then that's when people are like, you know what, I'm not wasting my time releasing this game because it seems that the American gamers don't care about it. So that's one of the problems. It's like, if we want JRPGs, if you don't like the storyline, don't buy it. That's a clear indication that okay, maybe these gamers don't care about it. But we cannot continue to nitpick, because then the really cool games that are supposed to come out, we won't get them, because then the Japanese developers get a little nervous and they'll be like, well, the American market can be a little overcritical. You know what? Let's just release it in Japan only. And then that's when we get screwed. True tea. Okay, so then let me look at what everyone's saying here. Bella says, yeah, my recording on my PC gave me hell, which is why I gave up. Yeah, I had the same problem, but if you have the patience and you have the time to learn PC, it works really well. But you have to be willing to have the patience. If you are not the type to have patience, I tell people, don't even think about getting a PC. Do not waste your time getting a laptop or any of that, because there is a learning curve to it. If you're the type of gamer that you just like to turn on your console, you have it hooked up to your TV, you add, Twitch, you add your Twitch account, you add your YouTube account, you're good to go. So if you're the type that you want a little more simplicity, I would say go with console. If you are the type that you're like, hey, I want something challenging, I want to upgrade my graphics card every flipping year or every 6 months. And I only say 6 months jokingly is because, like, I swear, AMD comes out with a graphics card, then Nvidia comes out with a graphics card, and then another company comes out with a graphics card. I'm not keeping up with this crap anymore. I'm just buying the peripherals that I want, that work for me, that work for this show too. And I'm going to just buy the games that I want to enjoy. I am not keeping up with the Joneses anymore, because it's annoying. It's like, you buy this, then people are like, why don't you have this? Then you go and buy that. Then they're like, why don't you buy that? So do not, I'm just saying, to those of you, if you want to be a Let's Player, if you want to do that stuff, play the games that you enjoy, because your true audience will understand. Do not try to keep up with the Joneses, because you're going to end up buying all this stuff and you're not going to use it, and then you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money, because we know that gaming is very expensive. It is. I mean, gaming is slowly starting to become a little bit affordable, because the PS4 has been out for like a couple years now, so, but it's still a new system, and games, especially that are JRPG, prices always are high. But if you're very strategic, you wait till like the holidays, or sometimes Amazon has this thing called the Lightning Deal, and you can get some games for a good price. Like, I ended up, guys, like one time I got Persona 5 for like, I was just kind of looking through, and I got Persona 5 for $33. For PS3. And then I forgot how much I paid for the PS4 version, but if you're really smart like that, you can get games for lower than the price that usually it would be. So, but sometimes on Amazon the price can go up. And then that's annoying, because you're like, oh, I should have bought it, but I wasn't able to. So yeah, it is very frustrating. And Bella says, I can't stand when games don't come to the West. Yeah, isn't that frustrating? It is. But it's because of people nitpicking these games. Like, you can't have everything. You have to understand, these Japanese developers, like, shout outs to the Japanese developers, because these people, some of them don't have lives. They literally spend 10, 12, 14, who knows, maybe 20 hours a day making these games. Like, they don't sleep because they want to make a masterpiece. And then what do? We sit down and nitpick it. Not constructive criticism, not like, okay, maybe I didn't like this, or, that's different. That's different. But when you really, really nitpick something, it's like a slap in the face to these Japanese developers. And then they're like, well, clearly these American gamers don't like this, so we're not going to release it. We'll just release it in Japan. I don't blame them though. I don't. It's just, to me, if we want these games to come over, then we have to respect the process. To get these Japanese games over to America, not easy. Then you got to sit down and you have to consider the cultural differences, and then you have to like modify the game, which people complain about as well. But then on the flip side, it's like, well, see, this is why it's getting changed is because we're complaining about it per se. So I could talk about this all day. It just aggravates me a lot because I'm someone that I really want these games to come over, but because people keep nitpicking at it, they don't come over, and then I don't get to enjoy it, and then I don't get to play it on this show. This fine, fine show. So, and then Disco says, I'm too indecisive. It's not a bad thing. You know, if you know what you want or if you can't figure it out, you'll figure it out. There's nothing wrong with that. Then Bella says, Prime helps with prices on games. Yeah, that to me is true. Like having Amazon Prime. Now, for me, I buy a lot of stuff. So Amazon Prime is like what, like $100 a year. I know that sounds like a lot of coin, but if you think about it in the long run, if you're someone who is like me, like a serial shopper on Amazon, it works in my favor because then I can get tons of stuff. It comes in 2 days. And then when you guys get whiny and complaining sometimes and you're like, why have you come out with this? Why have you come out with that? That has stopped a little bit because I have Amazon Prime and I can get it a little bit faster. But now, and this is just me, I just do the 2 day shipping. I can't always do the 1 day shipping because it can get expensive, okay? It can add up, you know, but I do my best on this show to try to, you know, review as many things as I can. But sometimes it takes time to review things, especially JRPGs. These games are expensive, guys. Let me tell you. These games are expensive. And then when you take the time and buy it and the game sucks, oh man, that is the worst feeling in the world when you are so excited for a game and it sucks. Let me give you an example, okay? So there's this game I have in my collection. It's let me actually find, let me get it. Give me a moment. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. All right, so this so this game is I have to say the art in this game is amazing. It has these watercolor, just beautiful graphics. The music is slaying the house down. But the gameplay is atrocious. And I should have listened to the people when I was buying this game, but I always try to give games a chance. Now, here's the surprising thing about this game before I show it to you. It is done by a company that is known for their excellence in the JRPG genre. So, and when I play this game, you will understand why it's terrible. So, this is Unlimited Saga. So, let me show it to you here. It's for the PS2. This game is terrible. Terrible, terrible. So you have all of these characters here. they all like become, you know, your protagonist. You pick one, and then you you get this really nice, beautiful intro, okay? And it's just this nice, unique watercolor, like beautiful graphics, like hand drawn realness, beautiful, okay? But when you get to the gameplay, it is atrocious. You are this statue and you're moving along a board game path. That is the game. And once you get to like a battle, then you actually go into your combat, and it's very similar to like Final Fantasy. And it's like Final Fantasy meets like Chrono Cross. It's weird. And then you have like these elemental kind of combination attacks with this weird Rolodex thing. It is the strangest game that I have in my collection. I do not recommend this game. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Atoshi Kawazu. I mean, he's awesome, but this game is flippin' bad. I haven't even finished it because it's so bad. It's so bad. So that's what I mean by like, you know, you get your money, you buy a game, and it's terrible. The music, the drawing, the art, the actual gameplay of a little stone statue moving across a you know, a board game path, terrible. But yes, I digress. So, and then Disco says Japanese developers don't care about reviews or nitpicky players. They care about sales. Well, I have to disagree with you though, because it depends. Because sometimes there are Japanese developers where they really do care about their fans' input. Like they really do care. So then they'll go back. Like I have to say, for example, Final Fantasy 14. When Final Fantasy 14 originally came out, it was a terrible game. And when the Final Fantasy community starts to nitpick, they go for the jugular. So they went for the jugular, and they made they made those developers go back to the drawing board. They had to retract the game. And then when they came back, the game was better than ever. And there's a reason why millions and millions of people play a game that you have to pay a subscription for, which to me is ridiculous. Like, I mean, at that point, you should have just, to me, I think Final Fantasy 14 should have just been a console game. I didn't think that it should have been a MMO. And the fact that, like, I tried it out, though. I did try it out on the show. And I did enjoy, like, the storyline and stuff. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I gotta pay $30 for a 60-day subscription card. And then after that's up, I gotta pay another $30. I could just buy Persona 5 and, like, play that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my ideology. Don't get me wrong. I know the Final Fantasy purists will rip me a new one. But I just think that it's a waste of money to me to pay $30 for a subscription for, like, card. Like, it's ridiculous. You know, I don't know, Disco. I don't think it was about the sales. People were really angry at the quality of the game. They were just not really impressed with it. And yes, that does affect sales, but this is just me. I think a lot of times some American audiences have a misconception about the Japanese gaming market, number one. And then number two, they just assume that, oh, Japanese people don't care, you know, because, you know, and I think that's also an assumption, and I'm not saying you directly, but I also think it's an assumption on Asian culture too, because there's just this assumption between like American people and Asian people that, you know, they just don't care. Like, they just don't care. And that's not true, because there are a lot of Japanese developers that do respect the American gaming market, and they love their American gamers. And there are a lot of J-pop artists that have mentioned in numerous interviews that they're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I had an audience in America. I will have to travel to America if I can afford it someday. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions between some American gamers and the Japanese or just Asian culture in general. Like Asian culture is not all submissive, and it's not all like it's either submissive or oh we don't care what other people think. Not really, not necessarily. And I'm noticing that there are much better relations between um, the American market a little bit and the Asian market. And I think what really broke it through to me personally was the Hallyu movement, the Hallyu wave, the Korean wave. That really brought a lot of awareness about Korean culture in America. And if I feel like if it was not for the Hallyu wave and a lot of people who really pushed that agenda, I don't think there would be KCON. I don't think there would be any interest in anime, in anything, in the music or the food or just the culture in general. So it's a two-way street. It's like the more we complain about things, that's the less that, depending on the Asian country, they're going to be interested in bringing their culture over here because they may feel that their culture is not taken seriously or it's not valued, and vice versa. So that's just me personally. I just feel that if we want more things to come from Japan or from India or whatever, we have to I can understand constructive criticism, but we have to value the exposure of what is being brought over. And if we don't value it, they're not going to bring it over again because they see we don't care about it. It's just like how American culture in Japan, you can tell that there's still some influences there. If they didn't value it, it wouldn't be, Korean street fashion is another example of that. You can see a lot of European style influence, and then they're, taking the uniqueness of Korean culture and creating this really interesting hybrid of fashion. If there was not a need for Korean street style, nobody would be wearing it. No one would really care. So to me, I just feel there needs to be a mutual respect. I can understand constructive criticism. That's different. What I'm talking about in general is people just nitpicking to nitpick, and then that makes it harder for any of this cool stuff to come into America. Just saying. So. And then Disco says those singers know they have a Western audience based on sales. It's corporation making the decisions. But here's the thing, though. I have to say, some of them don't know. Some of them it's new to them. It's new to them. And here's the thing. Yes, do corporations play a role? Yes. But if we are not respecting the artists, the corporations are not even going to care to bring them over here. If we are not taking value to things like J-pop and Visual K and K-pop and stuff like that, if there's not a demand for it, the corporation, if we're not respecting the singers that are coming over and trying to tap into the English-speaking market or just coming over in general, then we can't complain, because then what happens is they'll sit down and say, oh, well, I would love to see more Korean conventions, more than LA and New York, more than West Coast and East Coast. Well, if you want it to be shown in other parts, those markets have to be really successful. And then on top of that, there needs to be a demand for it. But we need to respect these people when they come over. And when Asian artists come over, what are they subjected with? Remember when I was reviewing Boa's one shot, two shot mini album, and when I was talking about her, she mentioned that when she was in America, it was hard for her to make friends. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to, homogenize or like stereotype in a way, but we complain about the lack of what I like to call diversity, entertainment, and inclusion. And we want these unique things to come over. But when they do come over, we either don't give enough attention to it, we don't respect it, or we nitpick so much that it's just not an opportunity that's going to happen anymore. And this is the reason why you can only go to conventions in large metropolitan cities. Now, if you want them to go to smaller places, there has to be a need, of course, like what you were saying, and a demand for it, but there also has to be a respect for it. Like, I would love to see more, conventions um, in, mid-sized cities and stuff. That would be cool. I would like to see more, J-pop if I go to mid-size anime conventions. But when these people come, they don't get enough of an audience, and then sometimes they don't even respect the artists. They don't respect them. So then, how do you expect for that to continue? This is the reason why, the only way you can really enjoy Asian entertainment is you have to go to LA or you have to go to New York. And now, in the, for example, in the Midwest, Chicago is starting to be a place now where those type, like, conventions are seen. But that's the only place. That's about it. So it's sad. It's really sad to me when people overly nitpick something, because then I can tell, I'm like, well, these artists are not gonna have a chance over here. It's like CL tried coming over here. She had that song, what was it? The Hello Bitches song or whatever, which to me, she was trying too hard. But if she really came like Britney Spears up in here, she would have a very good shot. She's got the look. That girl can dance the house down. She's got a really good rap skill. But the problem, like I said, is that sometimes in America, we don't respect Asian culture. We don't. So then it's hard for that progression to happen. Like, Utada Hikaru has released, like 3 English albums here, and they haven't really done well at all. And that's just because people just don't know what to do when Asian artists come over here. It's starting to change, because I have to be honest, because of BTS. Thank you. BTS has really helped to kind of turn the ball. I mean, BTS was on Ellen. I never thought I would live the day to see BTS on Ellen. What? That's awesome. That's a step in the right direction. But how long is that momentum going to be? If us as the fans don't keep pushing that momentum and just respecting, because there's more to Asian culture than the entertainment. Let's start going to the Asian businesses where you can buy the really unique clothes, and you can learn about the food and learn about the culture and stuff. Like, that's one thing that I have learned, being around. Like, I always say, Asian people are my people, and the reason why I say that is because I've put myself in those type of environments. I have grown so much, and I have learned so much, and I have met such nice people from all different regions within Asia. But the foundation has to come from the respect. And if we're not respecting each other, then those type of opportunities are few and far between. And then when their businesses are not getting those attentions, they have to close those businesses down. And I don't want that to happen, because it's some of those places are like my hangout spots. I love going to the Asian grocery store, and learning something new. And will you have experiences where some people are like, I get that, where some some Asian people may look at me and be like, why is this African girl like all up, like, this is weird. But I just ignore those people, and I embrace the Asian people who like me for me. And we learn from each other, and it's a beautiful thing. Just saying. All right, I'm off of my pedestal. I gotta finish taking my hair down here. I think have I finished it? No. But yeah, I get really passionate about that just because I know how it's like to be an outsider. It happens to African people all the time, you know? Like, let me tell you how many strange looks I get when I wear African clothing. It's annoying. It's not even strange looks out of curiosity. It's just like, you shouldn't be wearing that. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's just, it's ridiculous to me. So, yeah, there has to, when it comes to cultural understanding, there has to be a mutual respect there. There has to be. You know, I'm always the type, I like learning about new cultures. I like, exposing myself to things that normally I would not expose myself to. Like, that was one of the main reasons why I went to Riverdance, and even after that, I started learning about the traditional like Irish instruments, or learning about Irish folk dance. And it's still something that is, it can get very competitive. Those young men and women, what they do, it takes a lot of stamina. That is a lot of work, and these traditions have been passed from one generation to the next, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. So this is why culture is important. I don't immerse myself in different cultures because I'm trying to be diverse. It's more of me not only like challenging myself, but to have a better understanding of the world around me. Because I don't like being ignorant. That's just me. I don't like being ignorant. I like to be open minded. Now, are there things where it's like, okay, it goes against my value system? Then that's different. But I will still respect you for who you are, you know? And I think if more people thought like that, we wouldn't be having all these crazy issues going on today, okay? Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, there's a lot of new like K-pop artists too that I've been listening to, and I've just been keeping up with the older generation of K-pop because it's just interesting how they have had to like adjust to the up and coming new generation. And K-pop, as sad as it is for me to say, uh, it is dying in a way. I mean, unless you hear about it in places like, I would say, like Japan, or even here in America a little bit, it's just not the same exposure as it is in the homeland in South Korea, right? So I yeah, it's hard. It's very, very hard. Yeah, and then Disco says, yeah, the Uroland pipes and the boron. Yeah, I mean, I like learning. That's how I've always been. Like, I just never like being closed minded like that. And if there's something that I don't know, I'll read up on it. Like, look, today I watched the four. I'm thinking I'm on part 3 of 4. I watched the 4-part documentary on how is it like being in a Victorian farm, or not farm, pharmacy, pardon me. So I found out that like things in regards to the progression of medicine, people did not start understanding things like sanitation and stuff like that until like the 1860s. And then prior to that, I mean, it was crazy. People were using things that had like cyanide in it. They were giving their babies medicines that had lead. Like, for example, if a woman was pregnant and she, after she conceived her baby and she was breastfeeding, they had lead breast nipple guards because people didn't know back then that, okay, I'm putting this nipple guard and my baby is feeding from it, and I'm slowly exposing my baby to lead, So that was it was crazy for me to learn about that, and then seeing some of the other treatments that people would do. Like, for example, Charles Darwin and Florence Nightingale did this. There was a medical treatment where you would sit in a bed, and they would dip ice cold bed, like they would take the bed sheets and dip it in some ice cold water, guys, and you would sit there and they would cover you with these ice cold sheets because the ice cold water would help to, you know, elevate your blood pressure or your blood flowing, your, you know, getting everything flowing again. And then they would wrap you and you would sit in this kind of like basin thing, like a tub, and then they're sitting there pouring ice cold water on you. I couldn't do that, you know, but some people swore by it that it helped them to feel better. And what was cool is one of the doctors on this documentary, or the pharmacist, pardon me, on this documentary was saying that it's amazing how the mind and medicine correlate together, and having like the faith in believing in these treatments and things like that, which most of them did not work, you know, but in their mind they thought it worked. So it was kind of like what he was talking about is like a mental manifestation, which I think is really interesting. This trend is something that we see too in what people call like the natural medicine scene. They also had a woman who was an herbalist, and she was kind of explaining all the different herbs that you can find in England, or in that particular part of England, and a lot of them helped with like indigestion and like it was a decongest. It was really interesting. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then Disco says before germ theory, doctors would go straight from the morgue to the, yep, and that is correct. So this is a reason why, like in the 1840s, and I think it was like between 1840 to like before germ theory kicked off in the 1860s, the death rate was ridiculous. It was extremely high, and one of the reasons is just like what Disco is saying, is that a doctor would perform surgery on someone. Let's say it's an amputation, right? Okay. And then that same smock that they had on, or in this case, they would have a jacket, they would go and like go into the next room and go help someone. And I'm like, what? like that, like that's not sanitary. But they didn't know that. They thought, hey, okay, I just finished my surgery, it's all good, let me go help the next patient. No, you know, it caused a lot of cross contamination. And then the other thing that was so gross, guys, it was, if you're eating food, hey, I'm sorry, but they had this thing that was called a spit pail. A splatoon, I believe is what it was called. And when people were sick, they would all spit in the same bowl. It's like a giant bowl like this. It's probably around like maybe, yeah, like about about this big. They would all spit in it. And then if you were a pharmacy assistant, which is the worst job to have at a Victorian pharmacy, guys, you had to do all the grunt work. But one of the nastiest things you had to do as an assistant was take the spittoon and sanitize it. And sanitizing was just washing it with water. Now, let's do some backtracking here. This is before germ theory. So, you got everybody's sickness up in here. Okay, cholera, you know, all of that, lead poisoning, all of that, in one container, and then you're grabbing it and sanitizing it, if I can even call it that. So, you're going to get sick probably too. The 18th century, I'm telling you guys, Victorian era, people were crazy, yo. It was a crazy time. But yeah, it's called Victorian Pharmacy. It's a 4-part series. It's awesome. It's really well done. And yeah, I learned a lot. I really did learn a lot about how the progression of the pharmacy and how we take the pharmacy for granted. Okay, these pharmacists led the way to people who later on became chemists and later on helped to advance the medical revolution, you know, and that's how germ theory kind of helped push that. But it was really funny too to find out like what women were using too. Like because of the corsets, we all know this. These corsets had whale bones in them and crap. So because of that, you had to breathe all up in here. And because of corsets, if you were lucky, you had someone who knew how to put it on. But majority of the time, they put that thing on extra tight, so you needed fainting salts. And those fainting salts smelled disgusting because this lady who's like, she's a historical researcher, which I've been looking into that. I was like, that would be cool to do like a person that kind of specializes in like historical reenactments and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. That's like an interesting profession. So she found the safer recipe because we all remember, we have to remember here that Victorian medicine would kill you. Okay. So they had to make more of a safe, like a safe version of these medicines and treatments. And yeah, she made fainting salts, and then she put like some, I forgot what she put in there, but she put lavender and salt on top of that. And her daughter sniffed that, and she was like, I can see why I was awake. But yeah, I'll definitely have to do a review or a let's watch me on it where I'll actually watch the show and you guys will get like my reactions and give you guys commentary on stuff. Because I think it would be really interesting to see like what you guys think of it. But yeah, I'm really into the Victorian era. Even though women were treated like garbage, women were really treated bad in the Victorian era. They had no say in anything. But there were some women who did fall through the cracks, you know, of the revolution. And there were only a couple, especially in England too, there were a couple of female herbalists here and there. But by 1860, because of like germ theory and people started cracking down and using laws and, you know, enforcing laws because people were just dying left and right, you know, and sometimes they didn't know why. Oh, let me backtrack before I get back to finishing my like final piece of hair. I gotta detangle here. Let me tell you guys. So there was this thing. It was called the everlasting pill. And you know why they called it the everlasting pill? Let me explain it to you. Once again, if you are eating, I'm sorry, but not sorry. No. So what they would do is they would have a metal ball, and I forgot the metal component, but sometimes it had lead or something and other stuff. And what they would do is they would swallow this metal ball. It would go into their digestive, and they would start to throw up and have excessive diarrhea. And then they would poop it out, take it out of their feces, okay, clean it up, and then another person could use it because it helped to cleanse them out. Because Victorian medicine, one of the key factors of it was how effective it was and if they could actually feel it working. This stuff had so many poisonous metals, but the gross part was that you passed that through your body, you pooped that out, and then you took it out. They said that some of these people kept these everlasting metal pills for generations. They passed it on like it was some kind of family heirloom. What? It was crazy. Disco says, was it made of lead? Yeah, it did have part lead to it. I forgot the other metal, because this metal, for some reason, that was what caused you to throw up and have excessive diarrhea. I forgot the name of the metal, but that is disgusting. So Victorian medicine, some of it did work, you know, but a lot of it was just quackery. It was just joke medicine, you know. Another thing that I thought was gross is if let's say you were bruised, like, you know, you had a bruise or something on your body, they would dig up earthworms and mix it with oil and I forgot what else. And then they would make it into this earthworm liquidy paste, and you were supposed to put the earthworm on the area that it bruised. That thing did not work, okay? It was gross. It was gross. Like Victorian era, I love the fashion. I love that, not all the men were crazy, there was a lot of romanticism, but there was a lot of hysteria, man. Like if a woman was going through like hysteria, they would like do shock treatment to you. Some crazy, crazy. Oh my gosh. And then Bella says, I watched the documentary on the Black Plague. Very interesting. Yeah, Black Plague too. That was very interesting. People did not know sanitation. Thank you, God, for helping me to be raised in the modern era, because I think I would have died too in the Victorian era. I don't think I would have made it. Or people would have thought I was mentally crazy, because I'd be like, did you just spit in that? You need to sanitize that, It's gross. Yeah, the lead factor is worse, but I just think the nasty part is that they swallowed that thing and then passed it on to someone else. So let's say, okay, let me use a scenario with this, okay? So let's say I'm married to like a duke or something, because I had that coin back in the day, right? No, okay. So I'm this debutantess. I got my nice Victorian home. I got my servants, whatever, because that it was those days. You had people help you with stuff. You had the coin, and I go to the pharmacy. I'm like, oh, or I would have someone else because I had the money, and they're like, oh yeah, it's my, the head lady of the house is ill. Oh yeah, here, let me show you something. It's called the everlasting pill. Oh really? How does it work? Well, you swallow it, and then it may make you throw up and run diarrhea for days, but you will feel the most ultimate cleanse solution. Okay, let me take it back. So she brings it back, or he brings it back, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I pop that. I'm like, bleh, bleh. I'm like throwing up. I'm like, all that, of farting and all, Lord knows what else. And then I'm like, oh, all done. And then I just clean it up, and I put it on my on my medicine cabinet. And then let's say my teenage son is like, "Oh, mom, I am feeling most ill." And I'm like, "Oh, I have something for you. The everlasting pill that just went through my anus, but let it go through yours." And then he takes it and blah, blah, and flatulence galore, and he's like, "Oh, clean it up. There you go, mom. Oh, thank you, son." It's like, what? Disgusting. That is disgusting. But those were the days. But I still couldn't wrap my head around that. I was like, what? At that point, you might as well. I just die of of cholera. No, cholera was one of the most common diseases. It was terrible. It was pretty much like you're just dying of diarrhea and you're emaciating. Mm. And I saw some of the pictures, like the illustrations of someone with cholera, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was terrible, guys. Absolutely freaking terrible. But that just rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, are you serious? Like, I don't think any African people would have made it through the Victorian era, because they'd be like, you want me to take this and put it in my, and then it come out of my bum? No. No. Like, oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. And then Disco says, on the fashion, I love the corsets. Yeah, I like corsets. I've worn them before. Um, yeah, I love the shape that it gave me, but the breathing factor, I was always like, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But they have some that are more like fat people friendly and comfortable. But yeah, it was still. And then Bella says that she loves Victorian furniture along with the Rococo furniture. Yeah, the Rococo style is very interesting as well. I also like Baroque too. The Baroque era, that was an interesting period as well. I have some. I think I do have some Victorian style furniture because you guys know I like the Victorian era, so I had to get some Victorian style furniture. But I'm thinking about, um, yeah, getting like a Victorian style art desk because I think that would be cool. I found like an old type of like art desk, but by the time I got to it, it was gone. I was so pissed. All right, guys. I think, yeah, I am done with this hair. So, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. Took me all freaking day, but yeah, I gotta wash it. And I'll show it on Instagram too. But yeah, most of my hair cut out because it's shorter just because of the breakage that I had, but it'll grow back. So I'll probably let my hair be kind of loose for a while before I put it back into a protective style. But yeah, so yep, that's my hair. Show you up here a little bit closer, but that be my hair. Let me use this detangler and kind of wet it a little bit. And now I have those really good products from Cantu. If you guys are looking, because this is affordable beauty channel. So if you guys are looking for more affordable beauty, natural hair products, Cantu stuff is great. It smells good. It doesn't have that chemical smell. It doesn't make my like scalp itch. It's some really good stuff. Just kind of. And since I've been using it too, my hair has gotten really curly too. For some reason. So I'm just kind of wetting it up here. So I don't look too much like a mad scientist. So. Yeah, it takes me usually a whole day to take my freaking hair down. It's disgusting. It's really bad. And then usually what I do is I kind of wear it like this for a while until it starts to kind of grow back. And then if it starts to get really cold outside, yes, then I do put in like a protective style. But most of the time, it's so funny too. Especially like my white friends. Oh my gosh, they just love my natural puff. They literally will come up to me. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like Quita, your natural puff is so awesome. Oh my gosh!" And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, guys, I've had this since I was conceived. It's okay. Like they go crazy for this natural hair realness. Like it's funny. But I haven't really met a lot of guys who like the natural hair though. I'm meeting a lot of guys where they're like, you better put that weave on. And it's like, you gonna pay to put this weave on? Because I'm telling you, African American hair is expensive, okay? And these hair prices keep going up. As Fat Joe would say, it goes all the way up. Like, it's been going all the way up. So all I do is I just kind of brush it a little bit there. Get my little comb. It's a little rough here. Get on the other side. There we go. And then I just kind of... Because I always wear a headband because I don't like wearing my hair just naturally raw like this because it just looks like, I look crazy. So, yeah. And then I'll just wash it. But yeah, I did get some breakage just because I waited too long to take out my twist. Because I was like, I wanted to look a little dready. But, and then Bella says, oh, that's interesting. Bella says, but Victorian, Rococo, and Baroque, yeah, very expensive. So, I don't have that kind of coin. Then Bella says, I stopped using a Cantu conditioner because it made my hair horribly dry. Yeah, see, it's for everybody's different. Everybody has a hair, like I call it a hair chemistry. It's gonna be different. For me, I tried using Carol's Daughter, and I'm sorry to report, those products are just a waste of time for me. They smelled terrible. Like the spray that I got, it was not good. It just kept dripping down my my face. I had to really rub it in, and that's why I like Cantu and Mane and Tail, because they're affordable. I mean, Carol's Daughter is mid range and it costs a little for me, and then a lot for me. Pardon me. So and like every 6 months I'm buying products, to put in my hair because my hair, it grows at a semi medium pace. But I gotta treat it. I gotta put some hot oil treatment in this. So your girl's gonna put some hot oil treatment in this because I had a little bit of damage from the winter, and I can feel that my hair is kind of like a little thin. So I think I'll wear it like this for a while and let it kind of grow out a little bit. And then once it grows out a little bit, because I don't want to twist it now or it'll start breaking. Ah, AfricanHairProblems.com, I swear. So, got this motherland hair. No. So, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Someone agrees with me here. Bella says, I tried, I hated the Carol's Daughter hair milk. That's exactly what I was talking about. That hair milk smelled terrible. Don't get me wrong, I like the bottle, I like that I could mist it like this on my hair, but it just did not do anything for my hair. And then the whole day I just smelled weird, I didn't like let me detangle this here because I feel like okay, there we go. But yeah, it was just a mess. I did not like it. Now I am gonna try Miss Jessie because I want to see. Everybody makes a big deal out of their stuff, and they said their stuff is really good. So I'll have to try that. But natural hair products are just overly priced expensive. So that's why I'm here for, make it affordable for us. Because multicultural hair products are, woo! There's a lot of coin. It's expensive. It is a it's like $1 billion industry now. And there's just so many different brands, and it's hard to tell what works and what doesn't work unless you buy it. But so far, Cantu has been really good to me. It has made my hair just a lot more comfortable, and yeah, it's not so cakey and messy like it used to be. And then I also use Organic Root Stimulator, and that stuff has worked well for me as well. And another brand that I like, they have some natural stuff too, a little bit, is Motions. I love their hair lotion. And I can't forget BB, Bonner Brothers. Yes. Bonner Brothers, their hair lotion has been wonderful for me as well. But yeah, this is my, this is the mess known as my hair. And, yeah, it's a little short because, breakishbereal.com. But, I'm comfortable with that. Sometimes shorter hair is a lot easier to maintain. It's a lot easier for me to deal with. And I won't color my hair now until I see some more growth. And usually I don't color it until I start seeing the gray in there. So I kind of keep it two-tone. But overall, and then what I do too is I just kind of just to kind of keep it under control, I'll just use my hands and then I'll kind of pat it down a little bit and then I fluff it out. Not too much. But yeah, I'll have to go back and detangle it some more. But yeah, Motions, yeah, I love because it does keep your hair soft and nice. But yeah, I like Organic Root Stimulator and Cantu so far. And what else have I used too? Those are the main brands. Because what I always tell people is once you find something that works, and especially with me having sensitive skin and allergies, once you find what works, just stick to that. Don't try to like switch out and try this new and all that, because then it can mess up, you know, your regimen, and then you don't have to use so many products. Like honestly, I have my detangler, I have a deep moisturizer. Let me show you the products that I got from Cantu. I'll be right back so I can wrap up the show here, but I'll show you guys what I got. Cause I get a lot of stuff, so. But I have a simple system. Okay, so this is what, and you guys will not believe this. I think I can. Let me find this on Amazon too. Oh my gosh. Then I'm gonna work out, get myself all sweaty and nice, and then take a shower and go to bed. Cause I bought all of this on Amazon. Okay, so yeah, this set is it's $69.99. But and this is just excluding the shampoo here. So oh, this goes like I have to leave talk again. All right. I will see you soon, my friend. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. So, this is what you can get, and it's $69 here, and I'm excluding the shampoo just because it doesn't come with that. But I got this for a really, really good price. I am so stuffed up, guys. My allergies.com, like, is terrible. Okay, so this is what you get for $69.99. So the first thing from Cantu, this is coconut curling cream. And then this one, you do not rinse. So this is it here. It says coconut curling cream. So you just take a little bit of this, rub it through your hair, and you're done. And then, ooh, I was like, what? I hit myself in the face. And then the next thing that comes with this set is the coconut oil shine and hold mist. And a little goes a long way. You just spray that. It helps, gives a nice moisture and a little shine too. But I think it depends on your hair too. Some people's hair are going to be shinier than others. But yeah, this stuff, fabulous, really good. Then you get the deep treatment mask. So this one you actually have to wash out. So I'll show you. Well, let me show you this because I didn't show you it right. So it's a coconut shine and hold mist. And then this one is the deep treatment mask. So then this one, what you do is you wet your hair and then you put a little bit, run it through your, you run it through your hair. And then what I like to do is I take a shower cap and then I leave this on for 30 minutes. I get out of the shower, I watch an anime or something. I know I almost hit myself. Okay. So then you leave it on for 30 minutes and then you can apply heat, but I don't. I am not a heat person because my hair is so brittle. So I just put it on with a cap. I just sit down, watch some Victorian show or something for 30 minutes, get back in the shower, and then you rinse it off. Or you can leave it overnight and then rinse it off. I haven't done that yet. I want to try it. Maybe with my hair being loose like this now, I'll try it overnight and see what happens. But I just don't have time in the morning to wash my hair, so it's like I just do it in the evening. So then, yeah, this stuff has been pretty good. I've been using that a little bit. So then next, when I'm ready to twist my hair, this stuff is fabulous. This is the moisturizing twist and lock gel, and it helps. It does tone down the frizziness of my hair too, and it gives this nice smoothness to my twist. The only thing I will say though is if you are wearing nail polish, you want to take it off, because this stuff, just like the one from Motions 2, they're like twist and lock gel, it does take your nail polish off. So I'm like, you know, that's not fun. So make sure you take off your nail polish before using this here. Okay, then the other final two things that you get here is you get the conditioning creamy hair lotion. So then this one you do not have to wash out. So that's it here. And I use this one once, like maybe once a week if I feel my hair needs a conditioner. So I just put that in, rub it through, and you're done. And then I usually use this coconut mist, and then it's good to go. So this is one that I use the most of all of this set. And you can tell it's nasty. I got my hair and crap on it. So this is the Moisturizing Curl Activator Cream. And then this one, you can apply it wet or dry. I haven't applied it to damp hair yet. I use it as dry for my dry hair, and it gives really good moisture, and this stuff is fabulous. So these are all the products here. So you get, you get this and this for $70. And once I get this, I don't need to buy products for a while, I finally found a brand that works for me. Once you find the brand that works for you, just stick with that. You don't have to get all this extra stuff. So the other two that I use to wash my hair, and that's what I'm going to do after I work out today, is the Cantu Cleansing Cream or Cream Shampoo. So this one, it says rich lather. It does have a rich lather, so a little goes a long way. And this stuff smells so good. I love fruity smelling like shampoo. It's the best. And then this is the hydrating. Okay, so this is a shampoo. And then this is the hydrating cream conditioner. So you just apply. And here's the thing. The stuff that you have to rinse out. So this stuff, you want to use cold water. But I still use warm water. It doesn't matter. So it says rinse thoroughly with cool water. And yeah, it's really nice for my natural hair. So that's all that I use, guys. So I know, like, if I ever married a white guy, he'll probably look at me and be like, why you have all these products? That's why if I do marry a white guy, I will marry a white guy who is a product junkie like myself. We make sure we both look good, But yeah, that's all that I use. I don't use all of these simultaneously on a regular given day. Honestly, you can tell. These are the two that I use in my hair, and I'm out the door. I just brush it up. I put my little sports band on. It's a wrap. So Bella says that I just use a leave-in conditioner and Eagle Styler hair gel. But I want to try some new products. Now, here's my thing. Hair gel, for me, I avoid it because it dries my scalp. Hair gel dries my hair, period. I've tried hair gel in the past. It just dried, like, my edges and everything would, be slick. But, excuse me, it would dry. And then I would get, like, flaky edges. And I'm like, oh. No. So, but yeah, that's all that I use, guys. And I mean, I know some people are going to be like, $70? But compared to what else is out here, $70 is nothing. And then this lasts for me, I think I could use this for maybe like 5 or 6 months, But if I have my hair in twists, I just use like a dry shampoo. The only time I really wash it is when I'm ready to take it down. But I don't wash like when I have my twist in, because that's when it starts to get really like caked up together. So yeah, that's all that I use, guys. I'm glad, here's the final product. Took my hair down. I'll be doing this anytime I have to take my hair down, you know. But no, I appreciate all you guys being here today. Coming up, let's see. Okay, so coming up Friday, we got Curvy Melhead show, and Saturday as well, yeah. And then Sunday is gonna be the wild card Sunday, so you don't know if I'm gonna do Affordable Colorist, another episode of Curvy Melhead show, or another episode of Send to Me Now, because we got a lot of interesting news stories coming out. Okay, I mean, there's a crazy story I like to talk about in regards to like gay rehabilitation therapy. What is going on in this world? I tell you, it's just I can't even right now. But yeah, it was a very interesting story that I found in regards to that. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get stretched out. See, I like to warm up to that song by Boa, One Shot, Two Shot. So I'm gonna get all stretched out and start working out, because I'm starting slow just because I haven't worked out in a couple weeks. So I don't want to like overexert myself. But my goal is I try to do 30 minutes 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I do yoga. So I'm trying to keep myself disciplined with that and trying to keep my body right here. But guys, like I always say, remember to get smart and stay informed.